Hi, I've just decided to make a little video because it's something different to do, and I want to share a few things that God has been talking to me about and been teaching me and helping me grow because He loves us so much. He's awesome. One of the biggest verses that changed my life the most was Hebrews 4:12, where it tells us that the Word of God is living and active, and then it goes on to say that it's able to judge the thoughts and the intentions of our hearts. And when I had read that verse so many times, but when I read it that time, it was like it clicked. Every time I open the Bible, I should be learning something. But what are my thoughts and my intentions? Are they pure? I would open the Bible and I would just sit there and I'd be like, I'm not learning anything. This is not fun. I'm not enjoying this. And after that day, I was like, okay, God, purify my thoughts and my intentions. Make them something that I want to learn today. I want you to teach me something. I expect to learn something today. And ever since I have looked at it that way and said, purify my intentions, make them so that I don't care how long I sit here, but you're going to teach me something today. I expect you to teach me something. I have learned something every single time, and the words really have become alive and active in my life and jumping off the pages. So I really think as Christians, or as those who love Christ, that when we pursue Christ and we pursue His Word, we need to think of the Bible as a part of Him. Like it says in John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. We need to treat it as a part of God Himself and think of it as a book that is actually alive. And we'll start to see results and changes, and every time we open it, the words would be jumping off the pages and teaching us and piercing our soul and our spirit and changing our lives. Another one of my favorite verses. Sorry, I have a little bit of noise in this house. Another one of my favorite verses is in John 21. For so long, I was like, God, what's my purpose? And pretty recently, actually very recently, my whole life, I was like, what is my purpose? I feel like all I know how to do is take pictures and love people and, do laundry or cook or clean and all that stuff. And He's like, Courtney, do you love me? And I was like, of course I love you, God. And He turned me to John 21, where it says, Peter, do you love me? Peter, do you love me? And he says, yes, Lord, I love you. And then Jesus replies, 'Tend my lambs.' And then He asks again, Peter, do you love me? And he says, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And then God says, or Jesus says, shepherd my sheep. And then He says, Peter, do you love me? And again, Peter's like, yes, Lord, I love you. And then He says, tend my sheep. And that hit me hard because it was like God saying, Courtney, do you love me? And I was like, yes, tend my sheep, Courtney, tend my sheep. And I was like, well, sometimes I just don't have a place to go. How do I do that? And He's like, it does start in your family. Your family are souls too. You have brothers, you have people you see at the store, you have people everywhere you go. You have friends on Facebook. You have friends everywhere, all over the world. Tend my sheep, love them, take care of them, be an example. It starts there. Do what you can. You don't necessarily have to go on a world missions. There are people right in your life, right here, that are souls and that need Jesus Christ and need support and need Christian loving. They need love. And I was like, wow. I'm just supposed to love people, like, with all of my heart. And sometimes I regret saying some of the things that I say because I realize at the end of the day I'll be thinking about it and I'll be like, that could have really hurt that person, or that could have been looked at as disrespectful, and I apologize for that. I am sorry. I'm learning, but yes, tend my sheep, that is my purpose. And when I figured that out, when I read that, I was like, yes, God, I love you. And I was like, God, how do I show you that I love you? And He sent me to John 21, and I was like, I'm still very excited because even though I may not fulfill that tend my sheep every single day because I'm having a bad day or I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing because, sometimes we have bad days. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And just loving people. And it's really not even that hard. It's so joyous. So I hope that you guys can look at the Word of God as living and active and know that God has called us to tend His sheep. If we're wondering, God, how do I show you that I love you and what is my purpose? Realize that it's to love His people, to take care of His sheep, to just love Him and spend time with Him in His Word and spend time with His people, because spending time with His people is spending time with Him.